This is me, Joey Olberding, and Patrick Lewis debating the NBA Finals here on 95.7 FM MRC.
I know you love the Reds, and I know you love talking about the Reds, but let's talk about the playoffs a little bit. It's unprecedented. I mean, we talked about history last night with the Reds, but we might have history this year in the NBA playoffs just because the Warriors right now are 14-0 throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
Best start, best series they've had in NBA history. No one has gone 14-0 in the playoffs. I'm going to start with the question right now. Joey, do you think the Golden State Warriors can go 16-0?
Yes. I do. I do think that they can go 16-0 because I remember last year in the NBA Finals it was Cavs Warriors and the Cavs were kind of lucky to win. I think
Lucky?
Yeah, lucky.
You don't say that to LeBron's face.
Oh no, but LeBron's not listening to this. If he is, I'm sorry, but
we hope he's listening. That's
true.
We're high on the radio show echelon at that point.
Yeah. But I think overall the Warriors have been a better team every time that they've faced the Cavs in the finals 3 straight years. Even without Kevin Durant, the Warriors have always been better. I mean, they at that time they had Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes was a guy who could make plays. Of course, Kevin Durant can make more plays, but I mean, even back then, you see somebody like Klay Thompson or Draymond Green got like more action in the finals. Steph Curry's always been the leader, of course, but and they used like more guys. Like they've always had a tremendous bench ever since they've like contended in the playoffs, and they've just added more and more pieces. And the Cavs have tried to do that too. But the thing about the Cavs is that a lot of the times they just don't really share the ball all too much. Like if you look at the stat line for their games, like I know that might be like a loaded comment, but they get assists, but you'll see like LeBron with like 30 points and Kyrie with like 25, but you'll see Kevin Love with like 7, and like nobody else with like any real points, maybe like a 12 or something, but nothing too crazy.
Well, LeBron was one of the leading assist guy during the regular season.
Yeah. I'm not saying it in like assists. I'm saying like they don't share the ball for points. They like go to the same guys. Like LeBron will share the ball with Kyrie more than he will Kevin Love because Kevin Love is like the rebounds guy.
He's also a big 3-point guy.
Yeah.
Huge 3-point guy. When he was with the Timberwolves, he's mainly a scorer.
Yeah.
I mean, he could put up 30 points. Heck, he could put up 50 points when he was with the Timberwolves. He was that guy.
Yeah, but that's because he was like the only thing worthwhile for the Timberwolves in like those years.
Granted, but still, he can still do that with the Cavs.
Yeah, he can still do that, but you have LeBron and Kyrie, and you have J.R. Smith, who's also a big 3-point shooting guy, although he hasn't been doing well at all in the finals.
He's been doing terrible.
Yeah, he's been doing awful.
Was he had like 3 or 6 points or something like that?
Yeah.
You think they're going to go? You think the Warriors are going to go 16-0? So let's recap so far. The Warriors have had home court.
Yeah.
They blew them out basically.
Yeah.
The first game wasn't really that close, and I mean the second game wasn't really that close. You go at halftime, it's close.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're shooting both teams extraordinarily well, around 50%, probably even higher than that at halftime. They both have in the 60 points at halftime. It's a close game. And even partway through the third quarter in the second game, you're thinking, okay, the Cavs are going to make this happen. But then what happened? What do you think is the reason why Cleveland didn't come through?
Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things, Patrick. But something I can point to, and I think it may be the fact that Steve Kerr was back in Game 2. Steve Kerr, of course, had back surgery. Couldn't really coach for a while. They had Mike Brown, I believe, coaching.
Who was an ex-Cavs coach, by the way.
Yeah,
which is kind of ironic.
Oh yeah, very ironic. But I digress. Having him back, I think kind of invigorated the Warriors. You have a halftime speech like "Let's go get them" or whatever. I don't really know. But I
Well,
think
let's remind everybody listening that Steve Kerr was still with the team. It's
Yeah.
not he wasn't the head coach, but he was still there with a few weeks prior. He was in the locker rooms and at halftime, and he was in the practices. He just wasn't well enough to be on the sidelines because of all the noise. So he had spinal surgery.
Yeah, and that's the thing. For like a month or so, I didn't know how long it was really. But even having him in the locker room and just knowing that he's gonna be calling the plays again can be enough to get a team fired up. It's gonna be like the story for the NBA Finals last year was the LeBron bringing Cleveland a win, believe land.
Bringing the land.
Yeah, bringing the lands.
Yeah, and they did it. They were
and
down
they did it.
3-1,
Yeah,
and LeBron did it.
Yeah.
They went to Golden State and won that 7th game. Why
Yeah.
can't they do that again this year?
well, I think it all comes down to KD.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
KD, he's been playing better than LeBron in these finals, and I still think LeBron's a way better player, but you can't help but say that KD can make a serious difference in these finals.
Without a doubt.
He's
definitely the X factor. Let's put it this way. Iguodala was the person that was playing KD's role last year,
Yeah,
right? So Iguodala in 2016 was averaging 34 minutes per game in the playoffs. This year, he's only averaging 26 minutes. Durant's averaging 39 minutes. Those where the minutes are going from is to Durant. And clearly, he's taking advantage of those.
but you still know Iguodala's still like an important player because he's faced this team before and he's done really well. But of course, KD is KD, so he's going to go out there and destroy.
But so when you say destroy, he's making shots, right?
Yeah,
He's also blocking.
Yeah.
His defense, it's almost kind of like he just now understands he's 7 foot tall. If you watch him, no, I'm serious. If you watch him with OKC, Oklahoma State Thunder, previous years, and even in the playoffs, it's almost kind of like he's an offensive threat. He gives so much more effort this year. It's amazing how you see him go on the offensive end and dominate, and then on the defensive end, he's giving effort as well. And just like how LeBron did throughout the finals last year, that's exactly what KD doing. But he didn't do that at OKC. He's a different player this year, and you can attribute that to the culture, the environment that he's put in with those Warriors, right?
well, I attribute it to the fact that he just really wants a ring. Like,
Well, who doesn't, though? Like, you're telling me that somebody on a team that you're playing in the finals doesn't want a ring?
no, I'm saying that in some of those years with OKC, not all of them, of course. I'm thinking of 2011 when they went to the finals. But some of those years with OKC, I think more the later years when the Spurs and, yes, the Warriors got better and better. The Thunder were always a good team, but they don't really have any chance of winning in the finals considering all the teams around them. And I don't want to say that Kevin Durant necessarily got stopped really trying. I think it was the fact that it just kind of took a toll on him because during those times,
Cole being like the main player, like the main attraction.
Yeah,
like he
yeah,
was kind of like the LeBron
Yeah.
for the Cavs before Kyrie and Love came.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
But he also had Westbrook
yeah, he also had Westbrook, but at that time because
and Ibaka.
and Ibaka. But at that time because Westbrook didn't really come into his own because KD was still there. He really came into his own when it was his own team this year.
Okay.
Because Ibaka also wasn't there. But I digress.
Okay. So I kind of agree with you. KD is definitely the X factor, but let's not take away from LeBron. LeBron's still he's playing amazing basketball. I mean, just there's reason why he's getting compared to Michael Jordan because he's playing at that level. This second game of the finals, he had a triple-double. It's a record tying in the NBA 8th triple-double in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And then Curry, let's not forget about him, also had a triple-double, right?
Yeah.
Now this is surprising, his first one of his playoff career.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I was surprised too. I mean, Curry had 32 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Like, the 32 points are kind of normal. KD had 33.
Yeah, no, right.
And then LeBron, of course, the leader of the Cavs, the leader of really the NBA this past, I guess, kind of in the 2000s. He's kind of led that ever since he came up in 2003, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
when LeBron had a triple-double and Curry had his triple-double in the same game, opposing players had triple-doubles. That's the second time two players register a triple-double in the same championship game. The second time. Lou Alcindor was a part of that as well. I forget who it was against, but I remember Lou Alcindor was one of the parties in there.
Do you know was that in the 80s?
Dude, I'm old, but I'm not that old. I have no idea.
Okay, I want to say it was 85 with the Lakers and the Celtics. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, but I could be wrong. You look it up.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try to look it up. I don't see it right now, but this might be it. Kareem and then Lou Alcindor, something of that nature.
Oh, in 1970. The Bucks and the Lakers.
Oh, that might be right.
Yeah, that is right.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the same game, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Lou Alcindor. And Walt Frazier did it in 1970. Okay, so what do we want to talk about next?
All right.
So let's finish up this talk about the NBA a little bit. So looking at Game 3 tonight, Wednesday night, June 7th, shifts back to Cleveland. Are you calling the Warriors sweep then? Is what I'm saying from the first part of this segment? You're saying that Cleveland's not going to play any better. Warriors are going to still shoot the stars out, and we're going to have a 4-0 finals, and KD is just going to get MVP.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's going to be like a total blowout every game. I have a feeling that this game, Cleveland's going to like cut it close. It's going to be maybe like a 3-point game. It's going to be close. And then we'll see about the last game. Who knows about any injuries or anything? You can't really predict that stuff.
Right, good point.
But I think overall, if everything goes fine with injuries, that the Warriors will be able to sweep. They've had a tremendous just year.
They have, but I'm going to go against you. I'm going to go against you, Joey, because I think Cleveland has been turned around a little bit. First game, they were getting blown out. I think just with turnovers and steals and things of that nature, it was bad. Like if they played like they did game 1, or if they played game 2 like they did play game 1, I think we'd be talking about a sweep. But that's not the case, I don't think. I think they're going to get a lot of momentum from that home crowd back in Cleveland. They're going to have their backs. They're going to play better. I mean, you think about what the difference could be other than KD. Their shooting percentage has been bad. They really have. I mean, LeBron has been tired. Yeah. You got to have somebody else come. I mean, we talked a little bit about J.R. Smith. I don't care if it's Iman Shumpert. Iman Shumpert's a good player.
Oh, yeah. Iman Shumpert, I think, is better than J.R. Smith, honestly.
I see that as a great argument. I really think you could put him in there and he can produce 2010. So they're going to come back to Cleveland. I think they're going to get this game tonight. I really do. I think they're going to come back. It's going to be 2-1. And then you go into Friday thinking like, okay, they got some momentum. What's going to happen? Now, it's all depending on if KD and Curry continue to shoot. If they don't, who's going to be up there? Because Klay Thompson had a good game 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Zaza, their center, I mean, he's really almost non-existent now.
Yeah, really.
They're playing wing players. It's primarily all wing players, small forwards and everything. They're not really getting a whole lot of interior defense from this. So that's why LeBron keeps driving the lane. There's anyone in there to guard the paint.
That is until Durant shows up.
Well, what I'm saying is that Cleveland doesn't have anybody in the paint to make them fear going in there.
That's true.
So Zaza's out of the game. Who's Draymond Green? But that's exactly why I said that Durant's now finding himself to be 7 foot.
Yeah.
Because he has 5 blocks in a game, and he's like, okay, well, I can be that inside presence. So you're thinking sweep. I'm thinking Cleveland's going to come back and win. And hopefully we get a series because, I mean, I would like Golden State to win. I really do. I think Cleveland fans are getting a little ahead of themselves.
Yeah. Honestly, I think they are.
They think that they're all good and they're like, oh, we got the best team, whatever. Like, yeah, the Warriors are great, but, we got LeBron.
And with that, that will conclude with me, Joey Oberding, and Patrick Lewis, our NBA segment of the Payoff Pitch. I hope that you'll listen to our two other sections we have on the MLB and the NHL here on 95.7 MRC.